Good morning, everybody. OBS decided to start the stream a little early. Who won HoH? Who are the targets? We're gonna break it all down for you. On Fridays, we go live with the update. You're gonna get all the information about everything that happened yesterday and last night on the feeds. We're breaking it all down. Then we jump in live with the chat afterwards. If you're excited, make sure you smash that like button, because we're about to get into the show. What is up, Internet? My name is Ori. It is Friday, August 21st, day number 46 inside the Big Brother house. Who won HoH? Who are the targets? Plus, we still have one more BB time capsule to go. Who will get the chance at a power or a punishment? Let's talk about it, plus all the intel, drama, and more from yesterday's live feeds. But first, If you're new here, hit that subscribe button if you like this video. Hit that like button. Hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. We do daily live feed updates here all season long. First thing in the morning, but on Fridays, we do things a little bit differently. We go live here on Fridays, and we jump in with you guys here in the chat. It's always a lot of fun. You get the same update you normally do on every single day of the week, but on Fridays afterwards, we get to hang out with you. So if you guys are ready, here's a little bit of a recap for you if you haven't been keeping up with everything going on. Yash won HoH, and he wanted to take shots at the icons, and despite Dee's attempt to bribe Yash with her 5k power, Yash went on to nominate Dee, Angela, and Haley. Yash then went on to win the power of veto, and he seemed like he had all the power that week, but then Devins used the diamond power of veto to take Dee off the block, naming Kamu as the replacement nominee. That takes us to yesterday, and while there were some talks about potentially trying to keep Kamu from Melody and Mallory, it seemed like Drew had kind of reeled them on back in, and they knew that they didn't really have a chance unless Kamu were to win the blockbuster competition, that they would be in a lot of trouble. But we went on to that buster competition, and it was Angela who came on in. I hear some Jules coming on in. We're going to thank you guys all after we get through this. Angela went on to win the buster. That left Kamu versus Haley as our eviction vote. Lala was the sole vote to keep Kamu. Taylor was filled on in beforehand. Kamu was evicted. What was it? 8-1. Julie wanted to arm wrestle Kamu, and I honestly think Kamu got a little bit of a rough go here to be taken out this way with the Diamond Power of Veto. He really didn't see it coming until that last moment, because he did think he kind of was working with the icons a little bit. And overall, I do think he played very well. The Tea Party was obviously his biggest mistake of his entire game. He was in such a great spot, and then he tanked his game after that. That was kind of pushed by the icons itself, but he actually ended up finding even another kind of comeback, and at the time before the Diamond Power Veto was used, I feel like he was back up on top of the game. That's how good of a player he was, being able to get himself back into a good spot. He played hard. He seemed to honestly love the game for what it was. Every time there was a big moment, he seemed to really enjoy that. So I hope he has an all right time out of the house. I know there's some people that aren't too fond of Kamu, but I think overall he played the game hard, and what more can you ask for? When we came back after the eviction episode on the feeds, we had a little bit of post-eviction pre-HoH feeds. Angela was really excited about her big win, talking all about that. She also ended up going to Haley and kind of talking and apologizing for being overly excited and happy about the win, because she knows, you know, a win for her meant that Haley lost and was in danger. But Haley said it was all right. And she also said that she thought about Angela's tip and the strategy that she used, that she learned from Tucker, to get down and kind of collect all the balls. But she said the floor was too sharp, and the grates above the fans was just too much for her to do that. Lala was very upset, not only about Kamu leaving, but just in general being left out of the vote. She vented all of this to Taylor, and Taylor told her that right after the Buster competition, Melody, Mallory, they came over to her and they were like, look, we don't have the votes to keep Kamu. You know, it's just nothing we can do. And then Taylor said there was no time to even tell Lala before the vote. So that's what ended up happening. They both were definitely still mad, though, that they weren't told last night and that they were told last minute. Lala said that Melody and Mallory did at least come and apologize to her afterwards, but nobody else has said anything. Lala even also cornered Barrett and Mallory in the pantry, kind of talking about how Barrett screwed them over by not keeping Kamu, and he messed up the numbers. We also ended up seeing Melody and Mallory talking about how they can just end up blaming Drew and Barrett for not telling them, and that's why it ended up going down the way it was. But eventually it was time for the HoH competition. And when it came back, we found out that it was Dee who won the HoH. It possibly was the balance beam competition. They were talking about like jumping on boxes. So I don't know if it was like also maybe that one where the boxes are like uneven and they don't excuse me. They don't balance correctly, and like if you step on it, they kind of roll over. So I don't know if it was that or not, but they were definitely talking about like jumping around on boxes. It was a very physical competition, and D comes out with the victory. Barrett and Mallory were actually talking about how they didn't actually even want to win it. They were saying they basically threw it. Mallory was like, I just wanted to see if I could beat D, like if I needed to. So I took it kind of as far as I needed to, and then I just kind of didn't care if I won. They figured that both of them will be safe because of the whole mosh pit, and that it should end up being Yash, Taylor, and Lala who would be the nominees. Dee and Devins were celebrating, and they were kind of talking about what they should do and who should the target should be this week. They also kind of think if that Yash is on the block on Thursday, they should definitely vote him out, but they're not 100% sure if they really want to do that just yet. Maybe they do it as a backdoor kind of a thing. Dee also brings up an idea that maybe she should offer her 5K to Drew and say, listen, I want you to keep me and Devin safe for the rest of the game. And if Drew says no, Dee could put him up on the block. They also talk about making sure that they get their studying in this week because after OTEV, that was like them being a huge wake up call that they don't have enough studying. So they need to make sure they do that with Barrett. And they both talked about how the survivors are coming on into the Big Brother house and they've been running the game. And that they're still going even further. Lala and Taylor have both become the have-nots for the week. Taylor is very mad at everything going on. She wants to blow things up. She tells Mallory that she wants to make some moves here and make some noise, and she asks her if she still trusts Barrett and Drew, because here's the thing, Barrett and Drew would not care if Mallory left this week. Yash also tells Mallory that Drew told him that Mallory and Melody didn't want to keep Kamu and that he was pushing to try and keep them as hard as he could. Barrett also knew about this and didn't say anything. So Mallory and Melody are also still on this whole idea that they should not be trusting Barrett and Drew as much as they are. We did end up getting Dee getting her HoH room. Everybody kind of joined her in there with that. She had a few talks here and there with Devins and things like that, but overall, it still kind of seems it's going to be the same thing. She wants to do what's best for her, Angela, and Devins moving forward. They have the crossovers. Dee says that she still loves Barrett, but she doesn't 100% trust Drew. They also talk about having the mosh pit. And Melody Mallory are still cool with the other side, though, so that's a little bit of a worry for them as well. And her and Devins want to make sure that they end up picking a side. But again, at the end of the day, she wants to do what's best for her, Devin and Angela's game. And it seems like they're still planning to nominate Yash, Taylor, and Lala. Potentially, maybe even with a backdoor. Maybe she does this big plan with Drew as well. But we will have to see how that all breaks on down. But that is pretty much what we have for now. Today will be the nomination ceremony. So all those nominees will end up being official. I haven't done the full allegiance chart for you here, but just to give you a little bit of a snapshot, I do think Devins is still kind of at the top of that side of the house with the icons. Even though Dee is someone who has got a lot of pull over Barrett, I feel like she's still in a tough spot as if anybody on the other side were to win. Dee would most likely be the one who would be targeted first of the icons. Angela kind of has the least amount of sway, but she also has kind of the least amount of a target of the three icons. Barrett's also in still a bit of a rough spot. I think a lot of people don't trust him that much anymore. Drew, I think, still has a little bit of an edge over Barrett. Even Yash, Taylor, and Lala at this moment, because they're kind of coming on down because they seem to be like the ones that will be nominated this week. And even though Barrett's probably in a better spot, I feel like the other side, especially like Yash, Taylor, Lala, Haley, whoever ends up staying, they trust Barrett the least. So he'd be the one that they would probably go after of Drew and Barrett over the other. So still some things to kind of figure out as we settle on into this week. So we'll have to see how that goes. Now, if you guys are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. Because like I said, we do daily live feed updates here all season long, keeping you up to date with everything you need to know about what happened on the Big Brother live feeds. We're going to be jumping on into the chat here in just a second. I want to thank you guys all for the love, the support as well, because we have a lot to talk about. I want to hear from you. What do you think about Dee winning the HOH? What do you think about her plans for the nominees? And do you think this is all a good idea? Should she end up taking some other shots? Would you have rather somebody else win HOH? Let me know in the chat here because we're going to be breaking it all down. A couple of other things I do want to mention as well before we jump on into the chat. Make sure if you are a Survivor fan, you check out our brand new Outwit podcast. It is hosted by two of the mods that we have over in our Discord. They are really great with the Survivor stuff, and those podcasts have come out amazing. Make sure you check those out. We're also doing fantasy football as well. When we jump into the chat here, I'll probably end up posting the link as well. But if you're in the Discord, you can check those out in the sports channel. There's a lot of really cool ones. We're doing the normal one, but we're also doing one with 32 teams. Each week, the lowest scoring team is eliminated, and all of their roster goes out into the waiver pool for all of us to try and snag and make our teams better. I think it's going to be a cool idea if you want to check that out as well. It's in the Discord where we'll be talking about it later as well. Make sure you check out all of our socials. Right now, not only are we live on YouTube, we are live on Kick. We are live on Twitch. We're vertical on YouTube. You can watch how you like. But make sure you check out the Discord. It's a really cool community that we're building over there. People are always chatting, not only in the Big Brother live feed channel, but anytime something big is happening over there. People have been hanging out in the VCs, having a good time. We've have our sports channel. There's places where you can talk about Survivor. You can talk about the new seasons of The Traitor that we have coming out. Other reality shows. You can even post pictures of your pets. Make sure you check that on out as well. You can also support things like the Ori Fund, help support Oris everywhere around the world. You can also check out things like becoming a member to the channel, doing super chats. But the easiest way to support this channel is just smashing that like button, hit that notification bell. Just leaving comments on the videos. That it supports more than you could possibly know. But now, without further ado, let's jump on in the chat, say what's up with everyone going on. Official, Joker, Lisa, Stanley, August, Pac-Man, Doom Turkey, Otter. How are all you guys doing this lovely morning? Jackson, Savior, how are you? We did have a subscription come on in, I think, or no, those were the jewels. I actually don't have a list of the jewels. They only pop up in the chat. But thank you so much. I heard the jewels coming on in during the update. We actually ended up being a little early today. When I originally started setting everything up, OBS just decided to click live. It was like, hey, we're going live. I was like, okay, everything's starting 15 minutes earlier than 8 a.m. But we're here, we're live, we're breaking it all down. Not excited for D as the HOH. I hear you, Sonny. D getting power again. Not exactly what you want to see when the icons have been in control for so long. Even using the power to stay in control last week. Thank you so much for the jewels. Who's that? Doom Turkey. I appreciate it. Yasha for the block, hopefully. I think that's kind of where they're headed, is Yash on the block. I think Taylor and Lala will end up on there too. Will they end up doing something crazy with Drew? You never know, because this is D and she's crazy. Place it here. How you doing? Good morning. Coin of Destiny. Yes, that is a possibility. We have the Coin of Destiny, which is still out there as one of the things you could win in the BB time capsule. Whoever wins this week will either get the prize or the punishment. Hopefully, it's someone good who wants to use it. Maybe they're going to take over D's HOH. Who's that coming on in? The third stooge, Larry Moe or Curly. Thank you so much for coming on in, hitting that sub button. You might not have known this, but me and you, we now have a secret alliance. It's a secret, though. Don't go telling anybody about this alliance. We're going to the end. It's a final two. If you hear anything about other Final Twos or alliances that I have in chat, don't listen to it. It's not true. We're going to the end. Promise you. Thank you so much for hitting that sub button. Give it to Taylor. I think Taylor is a really good option on someone who could win it. I also think Drew is a really good option for somebody who could win it. Um, Other than that, it can't be Melody, can't be Mallory. Barrett, I don't think has the pull. While I have faith that Barrett eventually is going to turn things on here, I don't think he has it. Yash, maybe after his HOH win, maybe people are like, "Yo, he's going to need it," and they give it to him. Um, Taylor could be one. Even Lala, I think Lala has a little bit of a chance, just a little bit. And weirdly enough, I even think Haley, with how bad she was doing earlier, I even think Haley potentially has a chance to pull off the win for the time capsule. I think it's possible. I really think it is. So we'll have to see how it goes. I think if Kamu would have stayed, there would have been a chance that he got it. There's a very big open field, and there's so few choices that I honestly think anybody could actually take it, because the vote's not going to be split that much. Whoever the top people are going to get a very even amount of votes, I think. So it's going to be close. Is that the best one? Probably the Coin of Destiny is the best one left. The only other ones they have, it's like the never not pass, so you don't have to be on slop anymore. And playing in HOH a second week in a row, so you have to already have been HOH, and then that power's useful. If you don't win an HOH, it's not useful. Is there any other power that's still there? I think there's one more, but I don't remember what it is. And I don't think it's helpful either. But I can't remember what it is. But yeah, I think the Coin of Destiny might be the best one they have at the moment. At least it gives you a 50-50 chance at getting the HOH and taking that over. So it's better than nothing. Sweet, I think they're having a moment after the shock and betrayal. I think they'll bounce back. Well, so that was the thing. I think a lot of them were having a little bit of a shock moment, right? I think the Diamond Power of Veto really kind of shook people to the point where they were like, what is going on here? And it almost like didn't cause them like not to game for like the next whole day. And then it wasn't until the next morning that eventually they started bouncing back. Mystery competitor, Frank, thank you. The mystery competitor for the veto. That's also a good power. Actually, as we have A squared coming on in, hitting that sub button, A squared, we and you, we now have a secret final too. Shh, don't tell anybody. It's secret. If you hear about other alliances that I have in chat, don't listen to it. Thanks so much for hitting that sub button. I actually think, yeah, I always forget about that being one of the powers. I actually think the veto competitor might be a better prize. Or power. I don't know why I called it prize earlier. I actually think, what is the better power? 50-50 shot at the HOH, or a ringer, like a known person that's good at competitions. Like, you're bringing the best of the best on in to play this, right? When Keanu got it, he got Casey, who's one of the best competition places of all competition beasts that like we've ever had in the Big Brother house. She's so good at competitions, right? So if you're bringing in like someone who can actually like win you that comp in that veto, that might just be as good, because it's not, I don't think, even giving you, right? Like, it doesn't give you a full 50-50, but it really improves your, right? Right? Imagine they brought Tucker in. Imagine you have the power for the mystery part veto player, and they brought in Tucker. Would you not be very happy? Would you not feel very, very grateful to have that power? I know I would. So I actually feel like the veto might be, what if it's Kelly? Kelly's a good option. Why not? Kelly was good at comps. Tucker really likes puzzles, right? Michael, imagine Michael comes on in, right? I feel like that is a really good one, because here's the other thing. It's not just him playing. You are also playing. So in a veto where 6 people are playing, you have 2 of the people who are playing. And not only that, one of them is one of the best comp beasts that BB's ever had, probably. So I actually feel like that's a decent power. Like, that's not that bad of a power. I always forget that's one of the options. Jag. Imagine you get Jag. I'd be like, hell yeah, all right, cool. He's going to run some laps around everybody in this veto comp and beat everybody out. Right? So it's like, I'd actually think that's not a bad power, actually. It's honestly not a bad power. Because it's not a 50-50, but you get, like, pretty much almost a 1/3 shot at the veto instead of 1 in 6. I think that's not a bad power at all. I want Casey or not at all. That one wouldn't be that bad. Imagine, like, yeah. Here's the thing. Imagine Yash got that power. Because then we know Yash is a heck of a comp beast, right? If he was in this one, there's probably a good chance he would have been pretty good at it. So imagine you have Yash, and then whoever the mystery partner was, the mystery competitor, they're playing in the veto comp as well. And it's one of the best comp beasts that we've ever had. That I feel like, while the technical chances of it are 1/3, right? You got a 33.3% chance of winning the veto if you have 2 people in it. I feel like if you had Yash and one of the best comp beasts in BB history, that's easily like 60% chance you're winning. Because I feel like Yash goes into a comp and he probably already has a 33% chance of winning. So we're looking at a 66.6% chance of winning. Julie's not going to be very happy with that. Julie's not going to be very happy with that number. But that is what we're looking at. If you have Yash or one of the best ones ever out there, I think that could be a thing. Pac-Man says, give me Derek Frazier. Why not? Hell yeah. You want Derek Frazier? You know what? Maybe I can give you Derek Frazier. Maybe Derek Frazier's going to be your partner. Why not? You want Derek Frazier? We maybe could do that. We're doing the Steiner math. Yes, Josh got it. Josh got the reference. From the get-go, I was rooting for D, Devins, and Angela. I'm kind of with you there too, Otter, right? Like, I don't hate D, Devins, and Angela. I in fact really kind of enjoy watching them play. I just want to see them in trouble. I want to see them sweat. I want to see them on the bottom having to work their way on up. It's more fun to watch somebody who's really good at the game fight to get out of it than it is to see somebody who's really good at the game dominate it. It's why we love Dan so much. The fact that he can be on the bottom, fight his way out of it, figure out a way to be completely dead in the game, and then come on back on top and make it further. Like, that's what we want to see. We want to see them struggle, not because we don't like them, it's because it's more entertaining to watch them fight through. That's what we want to see. Official Joker's like, nah, I just cheer for the Yankees and the Dodgers. That's all I want to see. I want to see the best be the best. I want to see them buy it. I want to see the Dodgers buy all the powers. I saw a thing, what was it? Because the MLB intern, whoever's running the account for MLB on Twitter this year is a Big Brother fan. And what it was like when the Dodgers made one of their last big signings, they were like, all right, to compare it for you guys, this would be like if D got the next power. And then she went on to get the next power. To steamroll this season, now D's going to put up Taylor, Lala, and Yash, and Haley. It's not looking great.
I'm hoping Taylor wins veto or blockbuster this week because I might potentially crying if I lose all my picks this month.
Oh,
also,
no.
Congrats to D.
Edward, thank you so much for this $5 super chat. I appreciate it. I'm hoping Taylor wins the veto. I would hope she would win the veto or the Buster competition this week as well if she ends up on the block. I wouldn't want to see Taylor go. I think she's got a lot of potential still. She's just not very great at comps so far. We haven't seen her be very good at competitions. So yeah, it would be rough, especially if you end up losing her. If that's your draft all going out and out, that would not be great. And yeah, D coming up with the win. D coming up with the win as the HoH. D will dump Devins faster than her boyfriend from Survivor. Oh no. The ironic thing, she needs to get Devins out in order to win. I wonder if she'll backdoor him this week. Now that would be an epic move. Kim, that would be crazy, but I don't think she's going to do it this week. I think she also knows if she would want, she couldn't sit next to him. And she would have to try and turn against him. But I honestly, I don't know when that move would come. I'll definitely tell you, I see Devins being the one who goes last of the three. Between D, Angela, and Devins. Devins is like dad to all these people, right? To Barrett, to Drew, to Melody and Mallory, to Taylor, Yash even. He's dad, right? Like, he's Papa. He jokes around with the kids. He has fun with them. They all really like Devins a lot. They might not fully trust him, but they really like him. So if it came down to it on who they have to pick to go, they're going to take out D and Angela first. 100% they're taking D and Angela out. So it is something that D will have to consider. I just don't know when she's going to do it. Or even if she actually would go through it. I think she would, in the end, maybe do it. But Devins did save her with the Diamond Hour veto. Maybe that's enough to be like, no, I can't do that to this guy. But she also did lie about her power at first to him, right? So who knows? I think she would maybe take that shot. I don't know if it would be easy for her, but she would eventually have to take it. And I think Devins is hoping that he can get one of the kids to take a shot, right? Whoever survives this week of Taylor, Yash, or maybe even Lala. Maybe Mallory or Melody, maybe even Haley or Drew or Barrett. I think Barrett would be one that wouldn't really take that shot at D. He would more likely take the shot at maybe like an Angela. He would try and go for something like that. And man, Barrett's becoming every day more and more of a disappointment. I really want Barrett to just pull something off. I want Barrett to just get in the game and make a move. Because here's the thing. I think Barrett's actually somebody who can win some competitions. He's been throwing a lot. He hasn't been giving it his all because he knew he didn't necessarily have to. Even if he ended up on the block, he knew he had votes to stay. So I need him to win some competitions and start making some shots here. Go and put up Angela, D, and Devins. Just do it. Know that if you get to the end, that you have 3 locked-in votes probably with D, Mallory, and Melody. You could probably get Taylor and Yash. But if you keep riding with the icons, eventually they're not even going to respect you for it, Barrett. If you just get dragged to the end by Devins, and it's Devins and Barrett sitting at the end, guess what? I don't think Melody, Mallory are going to vote for you, bro. I think they're going to end up voting for Devins because they're like, Barrett lied to us the whole time. Why are we going to help him? It's going to be a Vince situation where it's like, hey, maybe you actually did play well to keep yourself safe, get yourself to the end. But it's like, bro, what did you really do? You need to take that shot or else you're never going to win. So that's what I really need to see from Barrett right now. I need him to step it on up because I feel like he could, but I don't know if he will. The only other hopes I have for that right now is Mallory, Taylor, Yash coming on in, maybe Lala coming on in, getting another HoH somehow. But who knows? Who knows? Drew has grown on me as well. Taylor needs to start making moves if she wants even a small chance to win at the end. And that's the thing, right? Like, it's going to be really tough because, like, here's where you need to start thinking about your jury votes and where you end up being a little bit screwed. And if you don't start making some better bonds and connections and start doing some work, you're going to end up missing out. Because as of right now, if Drew, Barrett, Melody, and Mallory get to the end, that's 4 votes that really control things, right? And if one of them are sitting at the end, that should, in theory, be 3 votes for them to win. Now, will they do it for Barrett if he doesn't end up making a move? That's what I was just saying, is I don't know if they will, because they're going to be like, bro, he lied to us the whole time. How can we do that? But if he proves to them that he's worthy of it, I think, yeah, he would definitely get their vote because they're all friends. And then you would only need one more. So if he had maybe like a D in there or a Devins in there, that could be his vote to win. The problem is, right, if you start looking at Taylor and Yash, even Lala, whose votes would they have over anybody else right now? Would Taylor have everybody's vote against Melody? I don't honestly know. I honestly don't know. Like, if you ask me what a Taylor and Melody vote looks like, well, she obviously gets Mallory, Drew, and Barrett, right? That's automatically 3 votes right there. And that's not looking good, is it? Let's say you're Yash up against Mallory. Well, she's getting Melody, Drew, and Barrett, right? And that's 3 votes right there. You only need 1 more. So, and Melody might be the easiest one for them, right? If it's like Taylor versus Devins, Drew and Barrett are definitely voting for Devins. Angela and Dee are voting for Devins, and that's 4. So it's like, where are Taylor's votes in jury? Where are Yasha's votes in jury? Where's Lala's votes in jury? They're not there, are they? Next week is the 100th episode. Expect the unexpected. Absolutely travel the world. Missy coming on in, hitting that sub button. Missy, you might not have known this, but me and you, we now have a secret final 2. We are going to the end, Missy. Thank you so much for hitting that sub button. But also, remember, it's a secret. Don't tell anybody. If you hear about any other alliances in the chat or anything like that, it's not true. I promise you. We're going to the end. Thank you so much for hitting that sub button, Missy. 1,000 episodes. What are they going to do on the 1,000 episodes? They didn't mention it on the episode last night, but they have already talked about this being the big twist of the season, the big midpoint of the season. Right now, I believe we are at 11 house guests, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're going into 10. So if they did a split house thing, it would be very even 5-5, right? When they did Dire Fest, that was 5-5. Half were in the backyard, half were inside. I believe Janky World was at 10. If I'm correct there, I think it was at 10. When they did the White Locust, was that also at 10? So this would be the time for that big twist. Now, what is it going to be? Is it going to be a week-long event again, like they did for the Dire Fest and the White Locust? Is it going to be more like a one-day thing where they had with Rachel last year with the White Locust? If they went with a week-long thing, I said before, my favorite idea is just do like a Survivor Week where they have to live outside. There's no HoH, but there's an immunity challenge. And then on Thursday, we have a live tribal. Hell, even bring Jeff in. Why not? But I also heard people talking about how they didn't like that idea because the 1,000 episode of Big Brother should be about Big Brother. But the thing is, that technically wouldn't be what the 1,000 episode would be about. Technically, that would be the 1,003rd episode. That would be the tribal. Just saying. If they did one night, though, the idea that I heard floated around, because they did it on, it was either like Celebrity 2 or 3, the Chain of Safety. If you guys don't know what the Chain of Safety is, basically somebody starts safe, and then they have to go and say, this person's safe. And then that person has to name the next person who's safe. And then so on until you're left with the last 3. And that last person has to pick from the final 2 who isn't safe, and then they get eliminated. So that could potentially be one. I also really like the idea of potentially bringing back the public vote. Bring back the public vote for something. I don't know if I like it being the full eviction, but maybe the public vote is 1 vote in the eviction. Whoever's nominated at the end, they get 1 vote. Or we do a public vote, and then we still have an HoH competition. We still have a veto competition. And that's how we figure out the vote at the end, right? Maybe HoH nominates 2 people. We still veto 1 of 2 people, or even 3 people if the Buster's still going. And then in the end, we have a public vote on the final 2. But then you would still have the Buster competition, and there would have to be like a live vote at the very end on that Thursday. So I don't know if that's too much for them. Or maybe they just do the vote of the 3, and whoever is the highest anyway would be safe, and then second would be who's safe then too. You could do it that way. That's an option. But there's definitely going to be something. What it is, they haven't teased us enough with it, though. We don't know any particular details. I know on Thursday's episode, they're going to have a lot of alumni. A lot of alumni are going to be there. They've invited a bunch of them there to kind of be there on stage and studio. I know they're doing like the BB superlatives, right? Where it's like the best showmance, the best alliance. I think even they have like the best winner, and they're going to be doing like awards for that. So that'll be a thing. I think it'll be like kind of a fun they'll probably have like a cool like montage from like the beginning. I hope we see a Chiquita reference. Let's see Chiquita the pug up on the screen one more time for the 1,000th episode. Let's bring that on back. So maybe they'll do like a cool like history of the house and everything. That'll be maybe fun. Show off the fishes. You definitely got to show off fishes, right? I think they could do something kind of cool with that. Now, what the big twist is though, I don't know. Unbalanced. Those are they're a total of 3 vets. So here's the thing where the game's unbalanced, right? The vets came in with the first HoH locked up and sealed to them. Nobody else could win the HoH other than them, right? The other thing was these votes being a public vote automatically gave the vets an instant advantage because they have a bigger fan base. They have more of a following. They're more known of a name in these votes. WWE and Fish, thank you so much for hitting that sub button. We now have a secret alliance. Don't tell anybody. It's secret. You hear about anything about other alliance, it's not true. Thank you so much for hitting that sub button. We're going to the end. But the public vote going to the 3 vets was almost a guarantee. There was a chance maybe for that third one, but it was almost guaranteed that they were going to win the first and second one. So those are the type of things that really, put the thumb on the scale, so to speak, for the icons. And that's why I don't know if you can necessarily say rigged, but it definitely was stacked in their favor in the beginning of the game. And as many of you know, if you've been following them for a long time, I talk about how the first HoH can be make or break. A good player can use that first HoH, set themselves up for weeks to come, potentially even the rest of the game. A bad player can completely tank their game and be out week 2 or 3. So that first HoH can be really valuable to a good player. So they absolutely got a gift there by the icons only being the ones to win that first HoH. It meant that they get to set up the power structure. It meant they got to get their footing in the game without having to worry about being in trouble and being at risk of going home. And they were able to make those connections and, say to people like, look, I got your back. I'm not going to put you on the block. Just doing that kind of stuff early in the game can really set you up later as someone who can be trusted. And they got that. They also ended up getting the powers. Here, Dee probably would have been in a lot of trouble if she would have stayed up on the block there. If Angela would have still won this blockbuster competition and Dee would have been on the block if Devins didn't use his power, Dee's probably walking out the door. Because if it was Dee up on the block, we would have had Kamu, Lala, Taylor, Melody, and Mallory all voting Dee out of the game. That would have been 5. They would have flipped. They would have had the 5, and I think they would have flipped and voted Dee out of the game. I think they would have done that. And while it's not for certain, that is a big part of how these advantages gave them an edge in the game, where Dee probably is gone this week without those powers. So it is a thing where it does change the game in general, right? We also have that great convo that I had with Bruno from BB Can and also Keanu from last season, where we talked about what the dynamics are like for players in that game when there's veterans and newbies in there. Bruno played twice on Big Brother Canada. The second time when he played on Big Brother Canada 5, he was the veteran in the game. Keanu got to play with Rachel and got to see the effect that she had in the game on others, and how you have to then maneuver around having to deal with these people who either want to keep them around for ratings, they want to keep them around because they're their number one fan and they're in love with them and they want to see them go to the end because they're their favorite player in the whole world. You see the people who just don't know any better or are just scared that they have powers, and maybe rightfully so. We see how this season went with the icons getting powers, where as soon as the first person that was going to take that shot, it wasn't going to go well for them because these icons had the powers and they were going to use them. So these are all the things that have to have an effect on the game, and I don't love it. It's why, me personally, I love newbie casts. It's why another big thing, the traders. Traders UK, I always said, did it the best. Because the Traders UK was all just regular people who applied for the show, wanted to be on there and compete in the game. They weren't celebrities or anything like that. When they brought the Traders to the US, they did a half and half season first. Half the cast was newbies, half the cast was veterans. People who had played these games before, people from the Housewives, things like that. And it has a different effect on the game. I like when there's all newbies. It's why it's great that we have a brand new season of the Traders coming out. They're calling it New Blood. And it's all just regular people who have never played these type of games before. They've never been on a reality show. And I think it's going to be so refreshing to see that in Traders US. I think it's going to end up being one of the best Traders seasons that we've seen in the US in a long time, probably of all of them, just because it's newbies and it changes the game that much. Because I honestly think the Traders UK is the best version of the Traders. They're 3. I think they might even have 4. I'm behind on Traders UK. I'll be honest with you, but season 2 might be my all-time favorite season of the Traders. It was so good. It was so good. And they'll do things, right? This is a little bit of a spoiler, right? This is a little bit of a spoiler. But if you've seen Traders enough, you know that they like doing their relative twists, right? Where people are related or they're exes or they're dating or whatever. There's a twist on the Traders UK season 2 that they don't reveal for 3 episodes. I won't tell you any more than that. But they let that thing sit for you for 3 episodes. BBUS would never. BBUS wouldn't be able to get done with them walking through the door before Julie goes, and guess what, everybody? Guess what, everybody? So they do some really cool stuff over the Traders UK. I think we're going to see a lot of that cool stuff on this one here too. So I think it's going to be good. And that's my big thing is I like newbies playing the game. I like seeing new, fresh people maneuver their way through the end. And when you end up with the veterans and you give them all these powers, all you end up doing is making it not that fun of a game because, like I said earlier, I don't dislike Devins and Angela. In fact, Devins is one of my favorite Survivor players. I haven't liked many Survivor seasons for a while. I didn't love Devin's original season because of how he got screwed over himself. But of the seasons I've seen of Survivor, Devins is one of my favorite ones of the newer era of Survivor. He came in somewhere around like the 30s, something like that. I forget exactly. But he's a heck of a player. I love Devins. I think he's so much fun to watch in the game. But I want to see him struggle. I want to see him be on the bottom and have to figure his way out of it. I want to see him have to find his way out. And that's what makes it fun about the veterans. So my plea to Big Brother is, hey, next time you bring veterans on the season, make sure one of them's leaving first. I know you want to have this big moment where the veterans stick around and they do well. Have a sacrificial lamb. Put all the veterans in danger at the very first night. Have that be your first boot, a day one boot. Because here's the thing, we hate day one boots. Everybody agrees on this, right? Everybody in this chat, I think we all can agree, we hate day one boots, correct? If there's one thing I think all Big Brother fandom can agree on, is that we hate when people go out on the first day and they don't even get a chance to play. Is this a correct statement? I don't think many times BB fans can unite under one thing, except that we don't like first boots. But if it was a veteran, I think we'd all be down. You're like, technically Rachel was sacrificed. Right, but she never really was playing. But if it was a veteran, and like, let's say Rachel wasn't actually going to be the fourth veteran, let's say that wasn't just like a gag, I think that would be kind of cool. I think that would be kind of fun. And that would be like a reason for them to do the first boot thing. Make the first night more fun. But I think they should change up how they think about how to deal with veterans, because we've seen it before. When Paul came back for his second season, hey, what are we going to do? Let's vote Paul out of the game. All right, let's put Paul on the block. Actually, you can't put me on the block. I am safe this week. And not only am I safe this week, I have friendship bracelets for everybody. Well, not everybody, but most of you. And this is my new alliance. Right? We've seen it before. When Rachel won her season. Hey, the newbies actually got kind of smart here, and they voted out some of the veterans, and they just won HoH, and it seems like they're going to be able to get the veterans out here. Oh, what should we do? Open Pandora's box and bring back the duos twist so that Rachel and Jordan can be partners. And then when we make the veto competition, the thing where you have to hang on the banana, or this time it's going to be a hot dog, and we know that Rachel is really good at that, and then she wins the power of veto, all because of Pandora's box coming back. And then Rachel and Jordan are safe, and they don't have to go home. We've seen it before. It's not that it doesn't happen. I would say that one's probably the worst one. Is the Pandora's box coming back for Rachel like mid-season like that? Because at least here's the thing. Technically, anyone could have won that first vote. It was just highly stacked against them. And it's part of the game. It's part of the game. It's also why it's a little bit meta, but when you're in there, you have to think about some of these stuff, right? Like, one of the things you can always think about when you're inside that house is like the diary room. Like, how many times is somebody being called to the diary room? Am I being called to the diary room a lot? Is somebody else getting called in there a lot after, big meetings that we have as an alliance, right? We just had a big meeting about, the big alliance we're having, and the nominations we're going to do. But then every time we do that, they keep calling this person to the diary room. Why are they doing that? And those type of things could get you paranoid, but they're also type of things you have to think about of like, hey, how can I use these things as an advantage? Because it's all part of the game. How can I, keep my cards even closer to my chest? Like, here's the thing, right? We all love somebody who talks to the camera and tells us all about their game. It's not the smartest thing to do, because guess who's listening? Production. Because here's the other thing, right? While the diary room won't necessarily say, hey, we think that you should vote for Drew, or you should put Drew up this week. They won't necessarily do that. But they'll be like, man, what do you think about, Drew? What are your feelings on him? Do you trust him? Really? You trust Drew a lot? Like, why do you trust Drew a lot, though? Yeah, but like, can you tell me why? Like, what has he done that makes you trust him? Right? So like, they'll do things like that that'll kind of get in your head, and then make you second guess things and be like, why are they asking me about Drew and why I trust him so much? So you kind of have to like play a production a little bit. And you have to try and like work your way through this. It's why like dealing with the veterans, like, look, you almost want to vote the veterans out right away. But like I said earlier, you're dealing with a bunch of newbies in there that are all going to be intimidated by these veterans one way or another. Whether they're intimidated because they think, oh, I want to be an influencer and I want to keep these veterans around, because keeping these veterans around, more people are going to watch the show, and then I'm going to get more followers. Or they're intimidated because they've been watching these shows for years, and they're their number one fan, and they want to be just like them, and they want to work with them, and they want to go to the end with them, and they want to kiss them on the cheek, even though they walk away afterwards. Or they're worried they're going to end up getting powers, like Devin's getting the time of our veto and D getting the bribe. So it makes it really hard to deal with that dynamic when you're a newbie in there, where it's like, yeah, you don't want to let the veterans cook. You just want to vote them out of the game. But how do you do that when you're not going to be able to get the numbers? How are you going to do that? Ori's been missing a lot lately. What's been going on, bro? What you mean missing? I'm right here. Hello. We're here. We're live. This season will be boring with a mosh pit. No real adversity for the vets. I think they pretty much have a decent spot going on right now. They got a decent little spot going on. Will Melody and Mallory take that shot, though? Because here's the thing. They know the veterans will take Barrett and Drew over them. So they know they got to get rid of them. Spring Texan.
So unhappy about vet steamroll. Racism. Letting 2 PPL do almost all the cooking, cleaning. It's gross, not fun.
Well, that's not...
Awful to see HoH win by Mean Girl D.
Thank you so much, Spring Roll, for the super chat. I appreciate it. But I got to push back a little bit. Listen, is Lala and Taylor doing all the cooking and cleaning? Yes. But also, that happens someone does the cooking and cleaning. Nobody cleans in that house. That house is a dirty mess unless somebody goes and does it. That is just how it is, right? So I got to push back on it being racism of any kind. It's not that. It's just that everybody's lazy in there, and that's what happens every season is people get lazy. But also on that, I do agree that it does seem at this point we're in a bit of a veteran steamroll. We're living through a veteran steamroller, and it's not going well for us. Or do you think the HoH, what do you think the HoH competition was? I'm not 100% sure. It was either like the balance beam or like that one where it's got like the wobbly steps. Because they were like, talking about like jumping on boxes. So I don't know if there was the balance beam and then there were boxes they had to jump through, but it was definitely a physical competition of some sort. In hindsight, Lala should have put up the vets. Probably. And there's layers to the veterans. They're insulated. They really are insulated pretty well because they got Barrett and Drew that are kind of keeping them safe. And then at this point, Melody and Mallory are kind of having just to work with them. But again, I do think Melody and Mallory know they have to take that shot eventually. They know they have to. They just have to win. They just haven't. I haven't seen anything going on like that. I'm annoyed the veterans winning. Lala chose, right? Like, that's the thing. They chose to cook and clean. They chose to do it. In fact, I actually kind of think Taylor enjoys it a little bit. I think it's something that, like, some people, like, it just helps them, like, relax and, like, clear anxiety. I get that way, like, where it's, like, if I'm feeling anxious or something, it's like, yeah, let me just clean. I'm just going to clean my whole house. This place is going to be spotless, and I'm going to feel so much better afterwards. Let's talk about the steamroll more and why it's, and move past it because, we see it. See what, Spooky? What you see? Has she said who she will put up? D, there's a couple of different things. So she's talked about Yash, Taylor, and Lala. She's also talked about potentially doing a backdoor on Yash. So maybe that would involve Haley going up on the block, but she doesn't really want to do that. She also threw out a crazy idea. And listen, I don't think she's going to do this, but it's D. D might just get bored and do it. D talked about using the bribe and telling Drew, hey, I'll give you this $5,000 if you guarantee to keep me and Devin safe for the rest of the game. And if Drew says no, she could put him on the block. I want to see it happen. I don't think it will. So I think it's going to end up being probably Lala, Taylor, maybe Yash, maybe Haley. I could see like a Melody and Mallory thing get thrown in there at some point. I could see Yash and Taylor go into D and Devins because they talked about this before, about being like, listen, Melody and Mallory and Drew and Barrett were telling us the whole time they were keeping them. Like, they're the ones that are really messing and doing this. Those four need to be broken up. Because like I was saying earlier, if those four all make it to jury, That's 3 votes really locked in for those 4. Barrett's the maybe, because I think Barrett and Drew, like, both are losing Melody and Mallory a little bit. But at the end of the day, friends usually vote for friends, right? It doesn't necessarily matter that much what you do in the game. As long as you don't completely backstab those people that you were calling your friends, more often than not, those people are going to vote for you, right? So if you have those 4 going in the jury, that's 3 votes for one of them if they're sitting at the end. And if they're not sitting at the end, that's 4 votes that they control the jury vote. If it's a 7-person jury, which we assume it's a 7-person jury, could be a 9-person jury, but at that point, I think we would already be at jury, right? If it was a 9-person jury, yeah, we would already be a jury because the last 2 people would be in jury. So it's a 7-person jury, I would assume. So I think with the 4 votes, that really locks it in. So I think there could be a chance that Taylor, Yash, and Lala are able to go to Dee and Devins, who already have mistrust in Drew. Melody and Mallory already have distrust in Drew. There could be a chance where Drew could end up going on the block. It very well could happen. You think Dee goes out at 6? I think Dee could go out next week, depending on who wins. I think Dee's a real good shot at going out next week, depending on who wins. And this is also a reason why she should maybe keep Yash. Because without Yash in the game, who's the biggest target and biggest threat in the game? Probably Haley and Dee. Devins is probably the biggest threat to win, but in most people's eyes, they're going to look at Haley and Dee. So if I'm Dee, I actually almost want to keep Yash in the game. Because it's more likely they're going to end up going for Yash than they would for her. So it's like, hey, let's keep our side together. But on the same end, Melody and Mallory trust in Yash. So they wouldn't want to go against Yash. So if Dee really wanted to do something here, her best bet actually would either be get out Yash or break up Melody and Mallory. And one of the good things about that is you don't have to worry about Drew and Barrett having that 4. It's getting a little bit to that point where everybody who leaves matters so much. And you have to be really careful about who you're sending out and also who you're making mad as you head on in to like the really nitty gritty here. Because we talk about this as well. The first half of the game is all about social. It's all about making connections, making bonds that you can then use to leverage your game further in the end. The second half of the game is all about competitions. And honestly, Melody and Mallory need Yash in the game if they want to have a chance to beat these veterans. And honestly, Drew and Barrett, if they want any shot, they kind of need to start making some moves here too. Because if they don't start winning these competitions now, eventually double eviction's going to roll around and they're going to say, hey, Barrett, get your ass up on the block. Because Barrett is such a great double eviction shot for like Angela. If Angela won like the HoH on a double eviction somehow, oh, she would love to put Drew and Barrett up on the block. She'd probably want Drew to leave, but man, that's such a great opportunity to get Barrett out. Such a great opportunity to get Barrett out because he's going to be dangerous because he comes really close in these competitions. So I don't know. Thank you so much for coming on in with the jewels. I appreciate it. Taylor's not in a great spot either. No. Honestly, it's not even that I think she's necessarily playing messy. It's just that she didn't do enough in the beginning of the game. Like I was just saying, the beginning of the game, you have to set up all your relationships. And what's tough for Taylor, and listen, I get it. She had like a weird thing with Devins where he didn't hug her or something, and that made her upset. Like, I think she was having a hard time when she first walked in the house. Like, it wasn't exactly easy for her. And then she was nominated, and she was kind of isolating herself there, right? Like, she went on the block immediately, right? So I get it was hard. But that's where you have to take that time to be like, look, you're not even campaigning, but you're You're trying to be cool with everybody. You're talking to everybody. You're just being like, yo, I'm in a rough spot. I just want to go a little bit further. But like, hey, how's it? Like, tell me about yourself. Like, what's going on? Like, what's life like outside? Right. Well, I don't even think it's that she lets her emotions get to her. It's that she bottles them up and she doesn't like to like release them like publicly. So when they are building up like that, her instinct is to like just curl up into the bed and just kind of hide away and stay away from the drama. Like even like when the tea party was going on, she was like, "Yo, I'm just out of here. Like I'm not gonna let my emotions get the better of me. I'm just gonna remove myself from the situation." So it's not even like she lets it get the better of her. It's that like because she doesn't let them get the best of her and she removes herself, that ends up actually hurting her in this game. Because that's a big thing you need in Big Brother is being able to make those connections and bonds even when you don't want to. Even when you hate the person. She does really good with Lala, but the problem is I think all of her energy is spent keeping Lala in check and having to deal with Lala that she doesn't have the time and energy for everybody else in the house. D can't control Taylor or get any info from her. That's kind of a big thing on why D doesn't like her. Absolutely, because she knows that Taylor's dangerous. And Taylor could be somebody that could sway votes, and she's smart, and she knows that she's somebody that could see the path on how to actually beat them. Taylor's playing to stay in the game. Crazy how attacked she gets for playing. A little bit. She's been getting that, but also like here's the thing. That's Big Brother, right? When you lock in on a target, what you do is then you go on a propaganda campaign to make sure that everyone doesn't like your target as well. You go and you spread the things that you think make them someone who is a good target and good to get out of the house, and that's what you do. That is Big Brother. So while it's not fair, that's BB. For Renom, D should have the mosh pit and Haley do a draw with Fruit Loops. Who won? Damn it. That was D who won. And I'm not saying damn it. I'm saying like damn it because that's his name. His name is Damn It. She's very obvious when other people are in power that she's in their ear. Well, the thing is, I mean, yes, it's very obvious over the last two because Yash and Lala were up there. But I mean, you could say the same things obvious about any of them. Like, here's the thing that I think people don't realize: it's very hard not to be obvious, and keeping like things hidden on like who's actually working with who isn't. It's not rocket science to figure out like, oh yeah, they spend a lot of time in the HoH, you know? It's why it shouldn't be rocket science, and they're only figuring it out now that Drew and Barrett have been working with the icons for so long. Barrett pretty much is always on D. They're always hanging around with each other. Like all the time. So of course they're working together. Of course they are. How do you not see that? So it's one of those things where it's like everybody kind of knows that kind of stuff. The big problem is just they didn't really I don't even say that they didn't make good decisions. I think the Chuck Haley nominations with Kamu could have went better, but they trusted in Kamu. And if it wasn't for the Diamond Power of Veto, it probably works out pretty well for them. Because then you do have Kamu who can take those shots at the icons and stick around. But the Diamond Power Veto really, really messed things up. That really messed things up. Because, again, it's not even like I think they made bad decisions. They were going to be getting somebody good out, whether it was Angela, whether it was D, but also Haley. Haley was another one where it's like, yeah, I actually don't mind if Haley goes, right? Like, that's good for our games. So it wasn't like they were making bad moves. It's just how do you overcome a Diamond Power Veto? How do you do that? That's an honest question. That's not rhetorical. Chat, tell me, how do you overcome a Diamond Power Veto? Other than just putting Devins on the block himself. But they trusted Devins, which maybe that's a mistake on their end. I get that. But how else do you beat it? There's not really much way you can. Other than just putting all three of them up, there's not much you can really do. Get the secret out of them, right? Barrett's in love with Drew and vice versa. Production told her to pull her mic up in the morning. She said, no, I'm not doing it. Uh, this is my way. You're not gonna hear me. She's been throwing a Lala under the bus. She's had a bad attitude. She's definitely not happy. She's also a have-not for the week. Have-nots are her and Lala. So it's not going great for her. Taylor's getting attacked. I don't see it as. And listen, I'm a Taylor fan. I think you guys know I've been after her bio. I wasn't a huge fan, right? She had this whole plan about the tethers or whatever it was, and I was like, listen, no, that's not how it works. You can't go into there with this whole plan, or I'm gonna get this person and this person and this person, and we're all gonna work together because we're all gonna trust each other. That just isn't how it works in Big Brother. And I was like, she's gonna be first boot. Then once she was in there a little bit, I saw her on the feeds. I saw the potential really quickly with Taylor. And I've been a Taylor fan. She's not getting attacked more than anybody else. She's just the person that they want to see as the target. And this is Big Brother. This is what happens. It's what you do in Big Brother. Is you badmouth the person that you want out of the house next. Because you don't want that person you're talking to go work with that person. It's what you do. You guys just don't get it. Barrett is a classic Austin Lee. I don't know that. What game is that? I don't know. She is getting attacked heavily. I don't think it's attacks. Like, yeah, are they saying stuff? Sure, but it's no more than any other season. It's no more than any other season. I will never understand why they're more willing to protect the icons versus each other. It is a thing. Drew and Barrett are really in with the icons at this point. And I got to think the only reason is they will eventually make that move against them. But they got to be careful not to do it too late before the icons do it to them, because eventually they're going to go, yeah, we do need to get rid of Drew and Barrett because they're so tight with Mallory and Melody. Those are instant jury votes for them. We got Iowa John coming on with the super chat.
If Haley survives one more eviction, I feel like she could fall more and more off of people's radar.
Honestly, you're not wrong on that. You're not wrong on that, because let's say she survives this week, right? Let's say they get out Yash. All right, well, are you going for Haley? Or are you going to make sure you get Taylor and Lala and you break that up? Or are you going to break up Mallory, and Melody? And the next one is probably the biggest one. Like this one and then the next one. I think you're right. I think it's surviving this one, and then I think if she survived one more, we could be seeing Haley in for a long time here. We could. Because who wouldn't want to take Haley? I'd want to sit next. No one's voting for Haley. That might be the only person that Yash and Taylor could easily win a jury vote against. Remember I was talking earlier about, like, where's Taylor and Yash's jury votes? It's against Haley. They need Haley. They need that. Yeah, the last survivor of the trio. Ain't that a thing, huh? Ain't that a thing? Vote Drew, keep him above Taylor. Barrett's not going against the vets. It's possibly Drew will. Barrett has said it enough where I still have just that little bit of faith, but man, every day I'm losing more and more. He becomes such a bigger disappointment as the day goes on. Haley's good TV. Haley will never work with Taylor and Lala. She needs to. She works with Taylor, not Lala as much. She'll work with Taylor, but not Lala. They really don't like each other. And that's the tough part. Taylor doesn't want to fake connection with people. Started off rough in the house. There's been some microaggressions towards her that she's not aware of. Multiple things are true at once here. Well, T-Gold, and that's kind of the thing, right? Part of that is her not playing the game right. The first thing you said there is Taylor doesn't want to fake connections. 99% of Big Brother is faking connections. Right? Like, and it's like the people who come in there like, oh, I don't want to be fake. I don't want to do this. It's a big part of the game. It's a big part of the game. Right? So it's like, yeah, are there things that people are saying about her behind her back? Yes. And are they potentially microaggressions? Yeah. But like, I don't think they necessarily are. It's just Big Brother microaggressions. Right? And they're different because if it's not just Taylor, it's anybody in the house. Anybody who becomes that house target next are going to get these attacks like this, right? Like it's not oh, Taylor is this type of a person, therefore they are attacking her for it. Do you guys understand what I'm talking about here? Because we've seen it happen a million times. Whether it was Jason, whether it was Haley when she was kind of being the target there. We also saw with Kamu them just saying all kinds of things behind his back about not trusting him, right? We saw them saying it about D. We saw them saying it about Drew. Were those not technically BB microaggressions to the person they want targeted out of the game? So it's like, it's not necessarily just like a thing that's attacking Taylor because of who she is. It's the position she finds herself in, whether they are part of her own doing or her just being good and them seeing that as being good, which then that makes them want to target her. It's all part of the game. Lala says she's not cooking this week. Well, that was the thing. Taylor said she wasn't going to cook the other night. She was like, and it was kind of adorable. She was like, I'm not going to cook at all because it won't have love in it. It won't be good. Not like I'm not going to cook at all because I don't care about these people. It's I'm not going to cook at all because I'm mad and it's not going to have love in it. Like she's like that, and that's part of why I like Taylor so much. I honestly like full on with my full chest think Taylor's one of the funniest house guests in there this year. I think Taylor, like the way she carries herself, the way she her personality is so funny. Cuz it's right up there on my like level of like she's very like it's like a dry humor but also like kind of like you serious kind of a humor. Like she'll give it to you a little bit. Like she'll roast you behind your back a little bit too. Like she's been roasting Melody for how she's not a good comedian. Taylor's funny. And yeah, it was funny. She was like, I'm not gonna cook because it's not gonna have love in it, so it's not gonna be good. But then guess what? She ended up cooking anyway. They also have said they were gonna go on a cooking and cleaning strike, but that never happened either. But I could see them doing it this week being have-nots. They're going to be like, yeah, why? I'm just going to cook our slop. We're going to cook what we want with the slop, and that's about it. Everybody else, you're on your own. Why am I going to cook food for everybody else if I can't even eat it? Who's D considering? A few different options. Probably the main one, most likely one, is Lala, Taylor, Yash. But they've also thought about backdooring Yash and not sure if they're ready to put him right up on the block. They do think if he's on the block on Thursday, they got to vote him out if they have that chance. Haley could be a potential pawn nominee, but she doesn't necessarily want to do that to Haley. And Haley kind of also said that she was like, okay, if she has to. Because they were even saying like, oh, maybe Haley wants to go up and like, she doesn't want to go up. But she says she's okay with it. I also think maybe she does kind of want to go up because she doesn't want to go to jury. And then the other crazy, here's the crazy plan. Here's the one that if this happens, it's like, oh, we're in for some good stuff. She wants to go to Drew and bribe him and say, Drew, I will give you $5,000 if you make sure to keep me and Devin safe for the rest of the game. And then she would give him the $5,000. If he says no, put Drew up on the block. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen. That's a crazy idea. But this is also D we're talking about here. And D gets bored. So D might just do it. She might just do it. It might just happen. Yeah, why would you cook or clean for everybody if you can do it yourself, right? And then you might end up on the block too. If I was them, I wouldn't cook and clean this week. But But like I also said too, I think with Taylor, I think it's also like a soothing thing. Like I think she gets a little calm from cleaning because like every time like she was worked up, she was cleaning, especially early in the game. I think that was like her way of just being like, all right, let me just kind of calm myself down and focus in. The power have been void after her offer to Yash. So that was the thing. The power's good until the end of the season, right? Until the end of the game. And there was no rule about it, right? It's only done once somebody accepts it. So she can try and use it over and over again. We've also talked before, it shouldn't have been 5K. It should have been more than 5K. It should have been at least 10. If you really want to have fun with it, it should have been at least like 20 or 25. That would have been really cool. And then the other really great idea, I forget who it was now in Discord who came up with this idea, but I thought it was really good. What if it was like in-game currency, right? What if it was like, hey, I'm going to bribe you this week. I don't want you to nominate me, and you're going to keep me safe this week. And to bribe you, I'm going to offer you an extra vote next week. Right? What if it was like some kind of like an in-game thing that ends up giving you an advantage? Hey, I'm going to give you the second shot at the HoH this upcoming week. That's your bribe. And then the deal is I'm going to give you this. You get to compete in HoH again, but I don't go up for the next week. I'm safe. Right? I think that would be kind of cool. I think that would be kind of interesting. Because then it's got stakes to it. Like, it's got actual stakes to it. Because, look, 5K is 5K. It's not game-changing, right? It's not life-changing. It's not enough for me to be like, oh, let me do this move that's not in my best interest. And that's the issue with it. I do think it could be used creatively, right? Like we talked about before, maybe you use it like a jury vote. Or maybe there is a situation where you're in like a 50-50. Two friends are up on the block, right? Let's say you are Mallory. Let's say Melody gets evicted. I'm going to throw this scenario out to you. Melody, that's not great because she's closer with Barrett. Who's the best option for this? I'm trying to think of like a good one. Maybe Melody and yeah, let's say Melody has the power and Barrett was eliminated. And it's down, Melody has to make the choice. Does she send home Drew or does she send home Mallory? Let's say Melody has to make that choice, right? Mallory versus Drew. Who does Melody pick? Might be a 50-50. Might lean towards Drew, if we're being honest. Might be lean towards Mallory because they're really good friends. Maybe 5K is enough to swing that. If you're Mallory and you're like, listen, Melody, I know you want to keep Drew, and I know, maybe you want to keep both of us. I got $5,000. Here's a bribe. Will you guarantee to keep me? That might be the thing that sways you, where it's like, look, I don't want to make this decision anyway, and then I could even use that to save my game because she offered me a bribe, and I could say to the other person, like, look, I wanted to keep you, but she offered me $5,000, and I couldn't say no. Like, I literally, like, if I said no, then, like, she was just going to offer you a bribe for something. Like, I had to do it. There was no other choice. So, like, I think there could be some fun ways it could be used, especially in the end game more so than not. If there's, like, close scenarios or maybe even, like, somebody's on their way out, you can kind of bribe for a jury vote to be like, listen, I'm trying everything, but, like, hey, listen, I'm going to kind of bribe you here, but, like, if you want guaranteed $5,000, like, give me your jury vote and you get 5K. Like, if you say no, like, it's cool, no worries, but, like, do you want 5K? Like, and maybe you just guaranteed yourself a jury vote. So there's ways that you could use it, but 5K just isn't enough. It's just not enough. What's up, Lord David? Go Birds. Go Birds. Melody would keep Mallory. Drew isn't worth keeping. But the heart wants what the heart wants. You see the way Melody looks at him sometimes? I don't know, maybe last week. Last week, it would have been a better question. This week, she's definitely on to him more. Love one another. What a joke. Imagine if someone else had the BB bribe and you have to try and bribe D, who won $1 million, right? So they definitely try and heavily influence the outcome. Always, right? But like, there's lines they'll cross and lines they won't, but it's almost hard not to have an influence. It's almost hard not to. The way the whole show's run, just the way it all kind of works out, it's almost hard not to. You'd actually have to like make an effort not to have an influence. You'd have to actively try not to influence it. They just don't try not to. That's the bigger problem. And then they do things like give them the first HoH, have a public vote for the powers. Originally, I thought the powers were going to be more of like a competition-based thing where you would get voted in and then at least you would have to win something and earn the power. But instead, it was just you get voted in and it's random if you get it or not. So there were a lot of things they could have done differently. There was definitely a lot of things they could have done differently. If I was producer Ori, if I put producer Ori hat on and they put me in control, 100% I'd do things differently. 100%. BB bribe should be $75K, 10% of the final prize. That wouldn't have been bad. Angelo, that wouldn't have been a bad one. Not gonna lie. Because here's the thing too, right? Here's one. So someone said, I forget who it was now. Someone said, try being someone with the power and you have to bribe D, who already won $1 million. I got one better for you. Not only did she win $1 million, you guys know they're getting paid, right? you guys know Devins, D, and Angela, they're making out real good. Devins, D, and Angela, they're getting a bag already, win or lose. What's an extra 5K? I'm here to have fun and play the game because I got a good downside guarantee where even if I get voted out week 1, I'm still getting paid. How much? I don't know. I couldn't tell you the exact numbers. I could make a rough guess. And it's at least 5 figures. It wouldn't be 6 figures. I don't think they're getting 6 figures. I don't think they're paying Devins or D no 100K to be on the show. Maybe half that. Guaranteed. And then that way, hey, you don't win, you get a little 50K, yeah, right? That would be my guess on how much they're getting. So if you're already getting that and you were brought a bribe for $5,000, why'd you even do it? So Gwen, that $1,000 a week, that's like the newbies. And I think it's gone up since then. I think it's closer to like 25 or 2,000 a week. I think it's closer, maybe even 1,500 only. So like a newbie going, you don't make much at all. A returning veteran going on back, the likes of D, Devins, and Angela, yes, they are getting paid more than $1,000 a week. Absolutely getting paid more than $1,000 a week. For sure. So it's almost like they could just have some fun, right? Like, because then if they end up winning, they win $750K. But if they end up losing, I still got $50K. Wasn't a waste of my time. That's also why production does put a little bit of a thumb on their scale, because they want to see a return from their investment. They're already paying these people. So do they really want them going out week 1 if they have a guaranteed contract where they're going to get a certain amount anyway, whether they make jury or not? They want to get them to jury. They want to at least get them to jury. Look what happened to Rachel. Rachel was even, if you really want to say something was set up, Rachel was set up there to get taken out right as jury started. As soon as jury started, they were like, oh, Rachel, we've got her locked in now, and we have her for the rest of the season. Great. Let her go. So I wouldn't be surprised here. As soon as jury starts, D's out of here. D's like, see you later. Angela, I think, would stick around a little bit longer because they'd want to keep Angela around because she's easy to beat in comps. D, I think, is the one that would go first of the three. And then Devins, while he's a threat and he'll need to win competitions at the end to keep him safe, he's the one that will stick around the longest of the three, I think, other than Angela, because he'll either win or they just all really like Devins. They really like Devins a lot. He's dad, right? He's the one they hang out with. He's the one that makes it fun. And if you're like Drew and Barrett, you're going to want to keep Devins around more than you're going to want to keep Angela around. Just how it is. Edward coming on in with the super chat.
Do you think Mallory and Melody will officially turn on Drew and Barrett next week, or still will be with them but not trust them?
It's a good question. I don't know. I think they're going to have to stick with them, and they're going to play with them as much as they can. But they're definitely keeping an eye out. Like, Mallory and Melody win HoH, they're not putting Drew and Barrett on the block. Like, come on, guys. Let's be real. They're not putting Drew and Barrett on the block ever. Drew and Barrett are also not putting Melody and Mallory on the block, right? Like, that's just not going to happen. Unless they're forced to and there's literally no other option, they're not going on the block. But they're definitely on to them. They're definitely like, yo, Drew and Barrett have been lying to us. They've been working with these icons. So they're on to it. They know that. But it's too late in the game to just be like, oh, we're done working with Drew and Barrett. Like, you just can't cut them off. What are you going to do if you just cut off Drew and Barrett right now if you're Melody Matt? Like, literally, what do you do? And you don't do it this week. You definitely don't do it this week. And next week, you don't want to do it next week either. Because if you do it next week, instead of Lala and Taylor being the targets, it's going to be you who's the target. Instead of Haley being a target, it's going to be you who's the target. So they're kind of stuck. They're that's why I said the other day with the whole keep Kamu or don't, and blindside Taylor and Yash, or blindside Barrett and Drew. There was no win there. There's no win at all. At all. Next thing we know, we'll see D, Devins, and Angela on Traders. Maybe T-Gold. The thing is, though, I think what they did now, who's that coming on in? Jawaso? I'm probably saying that wrong. But thank you so much for coming on in, hitting that sub button. I appreciate it. You might not have known this, but when you hit that subscribe button, me and you, we now have a secret alliance. Shh. Don't tell anybody. It's secret. If you hear anything about other chats or other alliances I have in chat, it's not true. It's not true. I promise. I'm too gullible to play Big Brother. D's going to win if they don't get her out. I would probably stink at PB if Drew Barrett, Devins, and D are last in the house. I don't care who wins. Traders definitely could see that. Here's the thing. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I don't think you will see D, Devins, and Angela on Traders anytime soon. At least for 2 years. What I've heard, and I think they started doing this, I think it was after Reindeer Games, maybe? When was Reindeer Games? Was that after 26? And then I think the Traders was already out then. I believe what Big Brother started doing, instead of a year-long contract, it's a 2-year contract. I believe it's a 2-year contract. So if you've been on Big Brother, or I don't know if Survivor has this as well, I think it's a 2-year contract now. I know for Big Brother it's 2 years, because I think who was it that I saw? Somebody was like, oh, I want to see you on Traders. They're like, it's not happening anytime soon. It was somebody on Reindeer Games. Or no. Reindeer, it wasn't because they were on reindeer games. It was starting in 24 because it was Taylor. Because the reindeer games didn't get the contract, but the main season on BB24, Taylor. It was Taylor. She had like a 2-year contract that she couldn't end up doing the Traders for 2 seasons. And this was, I think they were asking about like Traders, like it was like season 2 or 3. And like she was still under the contract for that. I think that's what it was. But it's a thing. Turner from BB had one he just got out of, and it'll be on a HGTV show. Yeah, okay, there you go. Because he probably had one too from The Amazing Race. I don't know how long they do that one for. And that also could have been one of the reasons why they did the Big Brother Amazing Race, because they still had a bunch of those guys under contract. So they thought, why not? Why not use them? I would love to see Keanu on Traders. Keanu on Traders would be really cool. I think Keanu would have a lot of fun on that. The challenges don't matter as much on the Traders. It's more about like your social standing. And here's the one thing though about Traders. And it's why I also like I like Traders a lot. Don't get me wrong. I like it a lot. I do think they need to change the game up just a little bit. I think they need to add more of an active role for the faithful. And who was it? I believe it was Kevin Martin from Big Brother Canada, from Traders Canada. He, I think, was the one who put out this idea that if you're a faithful and at the round table, you vote correctly for a trader, right? Doesn't matter if a trader gets voted out, right? But let's say everybody votes. The trader doesn't get voted out, but your vote in particular, who you voted for, was a trader. You then get a secret shield. You don't know it. Nobody knows if you are right or not, except you cannot be murdered. So it incentivizes the faithful to actually try and figure out who the traders are and vote them out. Because as it is right now, I'll be honest with you, if you're a faithful, your best play is to go, I don't know nothing about the game. Your best play is to say you're a psychic. Your best play is to say you're a psychic medium who gets a thought that this person over here is the traitor. And meanwhile, it's like the most obvious person in the world. Like it's the most like faithful of all faithfuls. They're the traitor. I know it. I can feel it. In my gut, it tells me they're the traitor. I had a dream. That that person was a traitor. That's how you play the traders right now. And like I said, I think it was Kevin Martin. I don't want to take credit for this idea. I don't want to take credit for this because it's a really good idea. That if you're faithful at the round table, if you vote for a traitor, it's not revealed, but those traitors can't kill you. K Johnson coming on in, hitting that sub button. Thank you so much for hitting that. You might not have known this, but me and you, we now have a secret alliance. It's a secret. Don't tell anybody. We're going to the end. Thank you so much. What I also think is cool about that, because right now, one of the things about the traders is that you do have to think about already is why am I still around? If you're in the game and you've been playing the game hard, you've been trying to get the traders, you've been calling people out, you have to start thinking to yourself after a while, why are they not killing me? Usually it's somebody that like you're aligned with is then a trader and they've been keeping you safe, right? Where now it actually makes it a little bit more interesting because then you start to go, why am I not murdered? Is it because I'm getting it right? Or is it because there's a trader who's keeping me safe? So it not only is good for the faithful, the traders can play with this a little bit as well. And it makes the traders game a little bit more interesting. Because you can then keep somebody safe who's getting it wrong over and over and over again. And everybody goes, well, see, I'm still alive. It's because I'm getting it right. So it can be played with. It can be manipulated. I think it could be fun. Yeah, if you're in Kmart's stream, ask him one time. Ask him about it. Be like, yo, I heard Ori talking about this idea that you had about the traders and how they should do the roundtable voting. Because I think that would be kind of cool. But if the majority and the trader goes to vote out, do you not get a shield? So well, and that's so that's the idea, right? If it's the majority and they vote out a trader, they vote out a trader, right? You I guess in that case it would get revealed. And that would be an interesting thing, right? Because then only the people who didn't vote out the trader would be up for a murder. That would be kind of an interesting little thing, right? Because you got it right and you voted out the trader, everybody would be safe who voted for the trader. And then only the people who were left out of the vote would be the ones that are up for the murder. And that, so Cupcake Monster, you see where I'm going with this? Let's say you're in the majority and you want a certain somebody to be an option for the traders. Well, maybe you leave them out of the vote. Maybe you tell them we're voting somewhere else, but we're all voting for the actual trader. Yeah, there could be some fun gameplay that goes along with that, I think. I think it would be a fun take on it that isn't just taking like a goose duck role and making one of the faithful as a sheriff that can just like take out a trader whenever they want or something. That would be kind of cool. Captain Will's going to be out quick. He has no poker face. Is he going to be on one of the upcoming traders? That'd be interesting. You need the chaotic players or the season's board. 100%. You always need chaotic players. Whether it's Big Brothers, whether it's Traders, whether it's Survivor, whatever game it is, you need chaotic players for it to be fun. The Traders is such a savage game. Watching it does get hard sometimes. The thing that I find hard about watching the Traders is the competitions. They don't matter. And that's always an issue. Good morning, Orient House guests. Happy Friday. Woo, my favorite show is Traders. Let's go, Vicky. Good morning. How are you? I'll have to Google. Who was that? He went after Keanu, upsetting some fans. Oh, who's that? You're talking about somebody, on the challenge, maybe? The comps need to be changed up. I actually really liked, it was Trader UK started to do this a little bit, where the comps started to matter for the shields. They would have things like where the shields were hidden in the competition, and you could like sacrifice the money for a shield, or you could like find one hidden at like the comp. I thought that made it more interesting when they did the shields that way as well. And I wouldn't mind if they did more of those too. I wish we could see you playing one of these games, Ori. T-Gold? Really? That's so nice of you. It's funny you say that. While not exactly the same, there might be something cool that's going to be happening next weekend. And that's all I can say. It's nothing crazy, but it should be a fun time. I'll say that. Maybe a little chaotic. But the reality is of it, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Get the creepy dolls. Sorry if you're here, Keanu, but the thing was, Keanu fully admitted that, right, with his season where he just had everybody lying to him, like had never seen the show before. So he really didn't even know what he was getting himself into. He was kind of learning on the fly. 100%. I think even he would say that. But I'm looking forward to seeing what else he gets up to. Doing the challenge right now. I think I'm an episode behind on the challenge. But he's in a tough spot on the challenge right now with being a rookie, because veterans they always end up sticking together, and they always kind of start picking on the rookies because it's easy to pick on the rookie. You don't have a connection to them and stuff like that. And the way the game is set up this year is even worse, because the challenge always changes their format up, right? Like sometimes it's solo, sometimes it's partners, sometimes you're partnered with your ex, sometimes you're partnered with your rival that you hate. So they're always changing the game up. And the way they did it this year is it's team-based, but there's also a captain who is there each week. And the captains have not only a lot of power, but if you win or come in, if you come in third, the captains are safe. It's set up like really weird because there's 3 teams. And then the second team, like anybody can be picked, even the captains. So one of the things is that really makes it hard. Like, for example, Keanu was a captain one week. But guess what? His week was not a week he could have earned safety because it's only guys and girls eliminations. They alternate. So if you're a captain and you're a guy on a girls' week, well, guess what? If you win, you're not safe. It doesn't. Well, you're safe, but like your partner is safe because there's a girl captain too. So if you're a captain on one of the weeks where it's not a guy's week, it's a wasting of a captain. And you can't be captain again until everybody's been captain twice. And the last captain picks the next captain. And I think it might have been Chris from Survivor who was a captain and then picked Keanu next. Because he was like, yeah, I want to pick Keanu so that he's captain now. And then when there's an opportunity to be voted in, Keanu will get voted in. I want Keanu as an option. And it's like, that kind of stings. It's like, that kind of stings. Taylor's playing her game. Don't knock her for that. She's 100% playing her game. I just wish she was playing it better. Because I really do like her. And I see the potential. But it's tough. It's definitely tough. First place, everyone safe. Second place, captain safe. Is that what it is? And third, no, Josh, isn't third place? Second place, I don't think the captains are safe. Because second place, anyone can go up, even the captain. You actually technically want to be second place, right? Or no? No. You technically want to be third place. Because everyone can go up, but second place, if you're the captain, you have to put somebody in from your team. That's what it is. Like, that's the added, like, weird thing to it. Like, if you're the captain, you then have to vote somebody who's on your team in if you're not the first or the last place one. So it's you almost don't want to come in second because you have to show your cards and stuff. It's like, it's terrible. It's such a bad format. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So I don't know if I'm going to fully ride it. Like, I want to see how Keanu does because I want to root him on, but I don't know if I want to finish this season out. It's really crappy. Love is kind. Good morning. Good morning to you as well. What state? Pennsylvania. For now. We'll see in a month, baby. Yeah, Chris, the guy who won Survivor, who took out Devins, he's on the challenge, yeah. Did you miss the stream? No, we're here. We're live, though I think we might be wrapping things up here in a bit. Before we do, one thing I want to talk about, and I want to drop the links in here as well. We're doing a fantasy football league. We're doing a fantasy football league again this year. I've decided to use Sleeper. This first one I'm about to drop in. Now, be ready. Because this first one only has 12 slots. This is just a normal league, 12 people. First come, first serve. Get on in there. And it'll be a normal league. That's the first one right there. I'm putting that in the chat. The next one I'm putting on in is really cool. It's a cool idea. This next one is 32 teams in a fantasy football league. They call it Chopped 32. Each week, the lowest scoring team is eliminated. Their entire roster goes on the waivers, and then we all get to pick up the pieces from their roster to improve our roster. So it's kind of like a survival game along with like fantasy football. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you want to play that, link is back up on there as well. The circle is coming back. I did hear about that. Ori fans, how are you? I did hear about the circle coming back. Circle lost me though. I'll be honest. Season 1 of the circle, I really liked. Season 2 of The Circle, I really liked until I didn't. And then season 3, it started going downhill. I don't even remember the last one I actually watched. I honestly don't even remember the last one I watched. It got bad. Circle got bad. Let's call it Duck and Duck. Taylor has not a snowball's chance. You might be right. You might be right. They stay in a hotel. Don't get a lot of time to talk, from what I understand from the previous players on Traders. So one of the things that's kind of interesting about Traders is they spend the day at the mansion, but you're right. Like, they don't stay at the mansion. They stay at like a different hotel, and they each get like put in their room and everything. So there's not as much talking as other shows is, where you get a lot more downtime. Because even when you're at the mansion and they have downtime to go talk, they don't just have one diary room. There's multiple. There's at least 2 going. So they're calling like multiple people to be like, hey, let's get you in here. Let's get you in here. Let's get you in here, right? So it's a thing. It was just too COVID coded? What's that? What was COVID coded? Be curious what their streaming numbers are like. For the Traders, I think they're doing really good. Really good. Traders is a huge hit. I know Traders in the UK is gigantic. Traders in the UK is one of the biggest shows on TV. They love Traders. Oh, The Circle was COVID coded. It was 100%. Just saw a clip where Drew said Lala would be the first juror so she could cook the meals. Oh no. Who won HoH? It was Lala, or not Lala. We were just talking about Lala. It was D. D won HoH. Right now she's looking at nominating Yash, Taylor, and Lala. Potentially, maybe Haley's mixed on in there, and it's a backdoor on Yash. Potentially, she said she was going to offer Drew the $5,000 as a bribe to keep her and Devin safe, and if he says no, she would put him on the block. So there's a lot of interesting little things that could happen. I like the Anonymous too. I never actually got to watch the Anonymous, but it's got Xavier and what's her name? It's Sandra's daughter. She was on Traders Australia, and I really liked her. Natalie? Is it Natalie? What's her name? I don't think it's Natalie. But I think it begins with an N. But it's Sandra's daughter, and she played on Survivor Australia, and she's a lot of fun. But yeah, I haven't seen that. There's also what's that one that Danny Reyes and Dan are going to be on, I think, coming up here. I think Danny's on it, isn't she? Destination X or whatever. That one's not really the same, but it's all right for what it is. Morrow! What's up, Morrow? How you doing? Put the photos of those that are gone. That is a thing I'm going to be doing, California Dreaming. I've been waiting for 6 of them to be gone, and I'm going to rearrange them. I'm going to put the 6 that are been gone at the bottom, everybody else on top, and rearrange everything. I was literally like, I could do it, but then I was like, one person's going to be like with the evicted people. Nina. Is it Nina? I think Nina might be it. I think you're right. I think it's Nina is Sandra's daughter. I knew it began with an N. But she's fun. So I was looking forward to see her. Which Sandra was the survivor picked to play this season? Oh, you wish Sandra was picked to play? Sandra would be fun. She'd be interesting. The Mole is fun. The Mole is fun. I like the one they did with Avery. And there was like the big Viking dude. I liked that season. The second season I thought that they did was a little less good, but also still okay in some aspects. The host weirded me out. That host neck, man, was super long. It was super long. House of Villains is good. I'm behind on House of Villains as well. I think I've only seen 2 seasons of House of Villains. But my favorite thing about House of Villains is how, like, they're very tongue-in-cheek with everything. and like they know what the show is, and they kind of like mess around with that a little bit, right? Like they have some like dunks on like Omarosa, for example. She was like, "Oh, I got hurt because she hit me with the tambourine or something." And then they show like the footage of the tambourine, and she's like, "It hit me right in the wrist." And then they show the footage, and the tambourine misses her by like a good foot. Like it doesn't even come close to hitting her. And she says, "Oh, the doctor says I can't compete in the competition. I'm medically not cleared to compete." And then they go to the doctor, and he goes, "Well, first off, I'm not a doctor." First thing, I'm not a doctor. Second off, I never said that. So that one was always pretty good, how they were always dunking. You see the goat? I haven't seen the goat, mainly because nobody on the goat was a goat, if that makes sense. Nobody that was on the goat was the greatest of all time. So why am I going to watch a show called The Goat when they literally don't have anybody who could even be considered the greatest of all time? It was the least GOAT cast of any cast I've ever seen. Was it amazing TV? It might have been. They just named it improperly. It wasn't the GOAT. It was, hey, look at all these random people we got together. Don't you remember them? That's what it was. They should have called it the elephant in the room. Let's talk about the elephant in the room of how we don't remember any of these people. Goatless? Okay, here's how bad the cast for the GOAT was. Here's how bad it was, right? I can tell you multiple people who have been on the Traders. Traders US. CT, Sandra, Rob, Tiffany, Brittany. We had Boston Rob. We had Tony. We had Derek. We had Dan. We had Janelle. We had Rachel. I can't name one person who played GOAT. I can't name you one person right now off the top of my head who played in the GOAT. Ian, Yam Yam. Hell, we can go with housewives. We can start naming housewives. Hell, we could name Scottie Pippen's kid and Michael Jordan's kid who were dating. We could name Tyson Fury. Right? Like, I can name so many people who were on the Traders. I can't name you one person that was on that GOAT show, because not one of them is the GOAT. Not one of them is the GOAT. The donkey. It should have been called the donkey. You know what's good TV? You know what's good TV? And it actually, I think the GOAT messed up this show. Because ready? Here's how funny this is and how bad the name of the GOAT actually was, right? So they named this real show The GOAT. Have you guys ever heard of the Joe Schmo Show? Have you guys ever heard of the Joe Schmo Show? Joe Schmo Show, one of the greatest things in all of television and all of like reality shows ever. They basically took one guy who thought everything was real. He was on a show like Big Brother or The Traders or Survivor, and they were all living in a house trying to win this money. Everyone else, though, was an actor. Not only were they actors, like some of these are actually like gone on to be famous people. Do you guys know Rickety Cricket from Always Sunny in Philadelphia? He's on this show. He plays the like evil dick type character, like the asshole of the house. Do you guys know, what's her name from SNL? She was in Bridesmaids. She was in the Ghostbuster movies where they were all ladies, which was really bad, but not because they were ladies, just because it was a bad movie. She's in it. She plays like a therapist. And it's all these people trying to convince this guy that he's playing a real game. Kristen Wiig, yes. It's a fantastic show. It's a fantastic show. They made a new one. I haven't seen this one, but the new one, it was announced. I saw the trailer for it, and years went by. Dr. Pat, Overtaker knows. Years went by after I heard about them bringing back the Joe Schmo Show. And it never aired. And I was like, I wonder why it never aired. Eventually, a trailer came out years later, and I think they've released it now. And do you know what the fake show was on the new Joe Schmo show? This is my theory on why it didn't come out. Do you know what the fake name was of the show? It was The GOAT. They called the fake show that was supposed to be obviously fake, that was supposed to be really hard for them to convince that you were playing a reality show. It's supposed to be such a joke. They named it The GOAT. Now tell me that isn't hilarious. And I honestly think that's why the Joe Schmo show was delayed, because they were like, all right, we got to like not do it at the same time, because now there's a real reality show named The GOAT that we based our fake reality show on. But Joe Schmo's hilarious. By the way, the people who made the Joe Schmo show, same people who made Deadpool movies. Joe Schmo show was just what they did before. Highly, highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. The Bounty Hunter one is epic. They did a couple. They did like a Love Island type, or like a Bachelor one, I think, one time. And I think there were two of them. And I think on the Bachelor one, like because there were two of them, I think one of them figured it out, and they like brought them on. They were like, "You're part of the team now." Angela, oh yeah, who's pushing the Angela cheated? Angela didn't cheat. How did she cheat? Tell me how she cheated. Oh, was it because the tube opened up at the bottom? Guess what? That was part of the competition. That was part of the competition. If you put a blue one in the red tube, you needed a way to get the blue one out, so you had to dump and start them all over. It actually was part of the competition because it makes it harder for you, because instead of taking them out from the top, you got to start all the way from the bottom, so there would be potentially more in there, and you would have to go all the way. Angela played great when she was about to be voted out. I don't think she was actually going to get voted. Like, there was a chance she was, but I don't think she ever actually was going to go. I think Melody and Mallory weren't going to keep Kamu. Even as much as they had debated it, I just don't think they were. But yeah, who would have thought Angela was going to win? Not everybody counted her out. I was saying it was going to be a charcuterie competition judged by Leah. That's what it was going to be. They were going to walk on out there. It was going to be a big old board, a big slab of meat, big slabs of cheese. They were going to say, Kamu, Haley, you have to face Angela in a charcuterie board competition. Best meat flour wins. Your judge, Leah. And Chuck. Not your Chuck, Angela's Chuck. Like, that's what I expected. But, hey, Angela pulled it on through. She pulled it on out. Not too shabby, huh? Not too shabby. Now, listen, guys. I want to thank you guys all for joining me here. It's been a hell of a morning. I want to thank you guys for all the love and support you guys have been showing me this season. Seriously, it has been amazing. We are on our way here to 25K. If you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. We're going to be back here tomorrow morning with another live feed update. We'll be back here again on Sunday for another episode. I don't think I'm going to watch Unlocked. So as soon as Unlocked's over, maybe I'll pop on. And then we'll do it. I'm not going to watch Unlocked. Laura, I see you over there on Kick. Check out our Discord. Discord's been amazing. We've actually got like a really good crew now. We've got production. Listen, you mess around on our Discord, you got to speak to production. Guess what? You're not allowed to talk about production. But Discord has been really popping off. It's been amazing. Make sure you check that out. Check out oristreams.com. Check out our Kick. Check out our Twitch. Check out our Twitter. Ori Fund. Check out the Ori Fund. Exclamation Ori Fund. Help support Oris everywhere around the world. Never required, always appreciated. The easiest way to support this channel is just smashing that thumbs up button. Thank you guys for the super chats. Thank you guys for the memberships. Thank you guys all for the love and support. Other things, make sure you check out the Outwit podcast. It's fantastic. It's awesome. Make sure you check that on out. And also, we've got some fun stuff coming on up. There's some fun stuff coming up this weekend. You're not going to miss a thing. Thank you guys all once again, and I will see you next time.